I met my first angel over 40 years ago. It was the early 1970s, and I was barely 8 years old. Actually, I did not just meet one angel, I met three, and they appeared in an ordinary yet unexpected way, on television. One night there was a movie on about the Bible. I cannot remember the title, and as I lay on the sofa in our living room, the screen glowed to life with a scene from the book of Genesis. It was the story of the great patriarch Abraham. At my young age, I had not yet heard the story of Abraham, so my mom was explaining his story to me. As the scene began, she said, "This is where he meets the angels." As it turns out, in a manner of speaking, so did I. I expected to see figures with fragile wings and porcelain-like cherub faces reclining on puffy white clouds. But these angels did not float. Instead of delicate feathered wings, the angelic figures had an immediate, commanding, and adventurous steadiness about them. Rather than reclining in bleach-white robes, the angels wore long, almost motionless earth-tone robes, with deep hoods that concealed their faces in quiet shadow. These three sturdy figures stood up straight and tall, conveying confident strength. Their feet were firmly planted on the ground. Their posture was stable, poised, and ready. Their silence was meaningful, their bearing direct. They were dignified, determined, and decisive, and there was a security about them. But there was more. They stood still, but their presence carried a suggestion of gentle swiftness and unobtrusive purpose. They were accessible, down to earth, and within reach, yet at the same time they were quietly elusive, concealed, and ungraspable. They seemed to stand on the threshold of visibility and invisibility. Yet they were not intimidating. It was as if there were no fear these three angels could not handle. The scene conveyed to me an initial sense of what I would later read from St. Augustine. There is a certain greatness in the angels, and such power that if the angels exert it to the full, it cannot be withstood. The scene likewise conveyed the sentiments of H.M. Boudon, the 17th century French abbot, spiritual author, and inspiration for Saint Louis de Montfort. There is nothing in created being more powerful than the angelic nature. There was something silently visible and at the same time a sense of invisible definition that drew me farther into their mystery. They captured my attention and pulled me along to that mysterious edge between expectation and surprise. All of this came to me in the space of 2 or 3 seconds. Obviously, something more was going on than simply Hollywood's attempt to portray angels. Of course, some people would say all I saw from my vantage point on our living room sofa was well-cast actors in costume. But these figures defied all the stereotypes of angels. 4 decades later, the scene remains crisp in my mind's eye, as if I just saw it only a few brief moments ago. After all, angels have a timeless quality about them, and they defy expectations, laying aside stereotypes.